Well, good morning, folks. Welcome back to the farm. 5:30 in the morning, just getting a start. I went over to feed the sheep here beside the shop, and they got about a third of a round bale left. We've had a incessant wind for many days here now, and it seems like it was never going to quit. It's becoming less than enjoyable to get out and do chores. Finally, last night, the round bale that's over there, because it's down to about a third, actually just blew over. And a third of a round bale is still, close to 500 pounds. That's a lot of weight for me to just pick up and set up right. And so I'm going to use some mechanical advantage here, and hopefully I'm just going to toss the whole thing over. If it won't stand on its own, I'm just going to toss the bale over and let the sheep clean it up. And that way I won't have to actually get out there and feed them twice a day for a couple of days while they clean that up. Well, I'm all done work for the day, but I'm not done working for the day. I'm going to hook onto the trailer here and head over to Bloom Enterprises. The other day I asked Robin if he had a bag of grain, chicken feed, and yeah, he had a bag, so I'm gonna head over there now. But I'm taking the trailer instead of the pickup because this is gonna be the biggest bag we've ever brought home. 2,000 pounds. I think previously the biggest one was 1,800 pounds. This one's gonna be 2,000, and that's a lot of weight for the pickup. And hooking onto it with the tractor, you can see what the ground conditions look like. If anything goes wrong, I would rather just have it on the trailer and it just goes and it just drops there. It's fairly benign, not a big deal. Happens in the back of a $60,000 pickup, that's gonna be a problem. The other thing, I don't know if you noticed or not, just how icy everything is here, right? And it's raining. It's the beginning of February and it's pouring rain. Well, not pouring rain, but we're getting enough rain that I can't drive down the highway without the windshield wipers on. And it is slick, boy oh boy. So fingers crossed for safe travels over to Blooms. So I have something here on the farm called the rule of thirds, and so any of the expendable farm supplies, feed, bedding, all that stuff, mineral, I will only let it get down to a third before I pick up the phone and get more, or I go to town and I get more. And the reason for that is, well, I've been burned by this in the past where you think, okay, yeah, this is a readily available item, and then suddenly you're out, or you're very close to being out, and you go there and they're like, no, we're not gonna have any for 2 or 3, or in some cases 5 weeks, right? And we're seeing more and more of that now today than ever before. And so yeah, so I just yesterday we had about 3 weeks worth of grain left in the grain bin, and I was like, I better pick up the phone and just see what he's got for timeline. And thankfully he had a bag made up, and that's why I'm going to go get that bag now. And so that's because he's a top-notch guy, right? But yeah, you certainly don't want to be caught with your pants down with no feed for your goats. So I got the trailer all hooked up, and once I go get that bag of grain and bring it back here, it's not like it can just stay there. It can't just live on the trailer, especially not outside, open to the elements. So we have the grain shed, and that's great, but you can look at the ground conditions in front of it, wet, icy. If you think I'm going to be able to get up there with the tractor precision-wise, it's not going to happen. It's going to be very dangerous to try and unload a bag of grain right there, given our current weather conditions. So I'm gonna fire up the tractor, get the grapple off, get the forks on, and that way when I get back, I'll be able to lift that bag off. I'll set it on the big pallet, and I'm gonna come and I'm gonna set it in the middle of the shop here, out of the way, out of the elements. I really don't like keeping grain in the shop because obviously the potential for rodent issue, but I would way rather deal with a mouse than deal with something 2,000 pounds of grain, get discombobulated, and potential injury or equipment damage or something like that, trying to make this work with these current ground conditions. All of this, of course, is predicated on the ability for the tractor to start. Hopefully the battery's not dead. What are we doing here? Oh, I think the battery will be dead. Looks like I left the master power on last night. Look at that! It went! That's a first. So I'm back now with the bag and just gonna get the tractor fired up and pull out of the shop and get that bag inside where it's safe and sound. So once I get it off the trailer here, I'm gonna be setting it on my custom-made super pallet. This is the one pallet to end them all. I handmade this pallet out of 2x6, 2x4. Very, very heavy duty. And you see it's got this hole in the center. That's to allow me to drain the bag out while it's sitting on top of the pallet. So we're just crawling across the yard at an idle here, making our way into the shop. Get this bag set down where it needs to be in good shape. I guess while I got the tractor out and looks like a little bit of daylight left, I might as well run a round bale over those sheep over there, because that bale fell over in the wind and I tossed that core, really not even a core, it was a third of the bale, tossed over the fence of the tractor at 5:30 in the morning. But, you know, it's only, what is it today, Wednesday? So, long time to the weekend when I got time to dig the tractor out again, so I might as well just do it now. As it turns out, I lifted this round bale up, but with that freeze thaw we've had, the bale netting, the net wrap around it, just was froze to the ground. So when I picked it up, it actually tore the netting completely off the bale. So now I'm precariously driving through the yard, hoping I don't lose 2/3 of this bale in the wind here. You can kind of see how it all tore open on the bottom there. Get this thing set down. And yeah, well, the dogs will have a place to lay tonight, that's for sure. Well, I got the tractor put back, the bag of grains here, and I think that's pretty much just a wrap for the day. I might head in and grab myself a bite of supper here now. But before I go, I just want to show you something real special that I found here. A hobby of mine, run to the thrift store, find some treasure, right? That's kind of a cool thing. Well, I was looking here this week and I found some, I gotta show you this right here. Look at that. Holy man, talk about ready for winter. Pretty pumped for the old homesteading hat. Psyched. So I'm gonna run in now, see if I can't fetch up some potatoes, maybe a cup of tea, and call it a night. So I'll let you go for now. I hope you have a fantastic evening, and we'll see you tomorrow.